What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, and another dollar with your boy. We're going to be breaking down the futures contract as usual. We're going to start looking at the monthly, look at the weekly, look at the daily, as we're coming to a pretty, to a close on a pretty nasty day down for the market. This market is trying to roll over, and it's, doing it in a methodical way. So we're going to look at the monthly, weekly, daily time frames, and then give you guys an update on the 30-minute time frame, our profile chart, and just kind of update some destinations and look at what is possible over the next day as we close out this week, which looks like it's going to be a very positive move for the sell side, as we have an outside week down scenario that's playing out pretty well. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. We are looking at our monthly chart. All right, looking at our monthly chart. Here we are. We broke that monthly balance low last month. Okay, we continue to one time frame down after breaking that monthly balance low. We've now come back into what our larger monthly balance was looking like, right? We had a much larger extreme monthly balance that we were in. And then we had this smaller consolidation here that we eventually broke out of, which led to the bigger move in June. So on the downside for our monthly target, we were targeting this area here, basically from 42.50 all the way down to 41.50. Basically June's low of 41.78 was the downside target for the monthly, and we attacked that pretty heavily today. We got that to the tick, or to the T. And even got below it, as we are looking to close below June's low and back inside of this range since we broke out of it 5 months ago. So we've been moving down pretty good over the last 3 months. Maybe this is all they want to do, and eventually we'll come back into a balance at some point in time. But as of right now, we are down on all three time frames: the monthly, the weekly, and the daily time frame. As far as our monthly destination, with 1 week, with a week and a half left, yeah. What do we got? No, we just got 1, 2, 3 trading days left in this month. The next target on the downside, as far as the monthly goes, would be May's low of 40.6225. Okay, May's low 40.6225, basically the 4,000 level, and there is a gap on our daily chart right around that same level. So we'll look at that once we get there. But monthly, still moving down in the bigger picture. Let's go ahead and look at the weekly. This weekly chart, man. Boy, oh boy, does it look nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Let's zoom this bad boy in real quick. So, outside week scenario working out very, very well. I should have held on to my short. I should have held on to my short. But we've been one time framing down on the weekly pretty heavily here. We put ourselves back into a balance last week, ended up with an outside week down, and then we began to target those lows that I was talking about: 41.78, 41.74. The next weekly low that we're going to target is going to be 41.14. That is the next target. That is a weekly low back from May 22nd. So we're going to be targeting right around that 41.14, 4100 level. That is going to be the next downside target here, right around that 41.14. Weekly, I mean, that is just nasty looking candle there. Nothing much more to say about that. We've kind of just ate through that holding area that I wanted to see. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Your next area that you were looking to get down into is between 41.50, or 41.40, which is right around where we're at, and 41.14. That is a must hold zone for the buy side. If we do not hold that, this could really get ugly to the downside. We are setting a series of lower highs and lower lows that we've been discussing in our past videos. I've been giving you guys these targets on the downside, not only for you, but for myself. It's helped me trade on the short side, as I know what the targets are on the downside, right? I knew the target on the downside was going to be 41.74. If we got below that, I knew that the market could continue to push down lower if we didn't hold that level. So that's what I was looking for on the weekly time frame. So knowing those destinations can help you tremendously. Something I'm going to point out here in just a second on the daily chart is an area that we should definitely be paying attention to, which is going to be right around the 4140 level. I'll show you why here in just a second. So the daily yesterday, I said that we just stretched it right after we took out that balance low that we had around 4113. I said we just stretched it because we only took it out by about 10 points. Well, now the daily is firmly down. We are firmly down on the daily time frame. We are firmly below the 200-day moving average. And not sure, but we might be seeing some type of acceptance below the 200 as of right now. It's still too early to say. If we do continue to one time frame down and volume does continue to pick up, as today's volume was possibly in the top 10 highest volumes of the year, you will see this market continue to push lower here and target all of these daily lows. I mean, look at all these lows here around 4114. You got 4112. You got this low here at 4114 that I was talking about from May 24th. Your next daily low is going to be right here around 4137.50, right? So this 4140 level to 4114 is going to be a massive hold that you want to see for the buy side. We got that June low that I was talking about in yesterday's video and the previous videos before that. So we are one time framing down firmly on the daily chart, targeting 4137 and then ultimately this 4114. I mean, look at all these wick lows here. This is definitely where you want to see buyers step in if you are on the buy side, is right around this 4114 level. Let's go ahead. I want to mark that as well on my chart just so I know. And something I was looking at today that has potentially helped me kind of identify some things is if I look at this, why is it not? Oh, you said apply. Okay. Is if we look here at our profile on the daily chart for the year, the point of control for the year, which is where we had the most amount of days traded in a range and the most amount of volume done, if you can see on the left hand side of my chart here, is the amount of volume done in this 4150 down to 4140 level. The point of control is 4145, right? That is the point of control. So if we get down to that level and through it, your next destination on the downside is basically the 4,000 level. That is your next high volume area. One thing to look out for is if we do not hold here, price could get rejected right here where there is a lack of volume, right? There's a lack of volume in this range. So there's one of two scenarios. You get down into this area where there's a lack of volume done and we continue to liquidate through it and pack in some volume there, or we have a shut off on the sell side and buyers start to step back in around that level and this market kind of turns back up. So that's two ways to look at that. We really won't know how we do it until we start, until the next month, until we start seeing more in the bigger picture, what kind of volume, what kind of tempo we get to the downside will kind of determine whether or not we get those levels. Another thing to look at is, guess what? Right below that 4140 level and those daily lows is a gap that we had around the 4100 level. Okay, remember I was talking about those lows? Guess what's below that? 4100 gap. Below that we have another gap around the 4000 level. So if this market wants to, it can easily push lower and begin to fill these gaps. But that's all that, it all remains to be seen. We just got to continue to go with the flow here and look to, trade what the market gives us, trade the market generated information that is given to us, and, hopefully make a couple points on the day. So daily's one time framing down, monthly's one time framing down, weekly is one time framing down. Where you're targeting these lows, I'm talking about 37.50, 41.14. Point of control is right around that level, 41.40, right? So keep that in mind going forward. If somehow we magically put ourselves back into a balance coming forward, then this market could hold for a little while as we go through earnings, as earnings season is here. We could hold for a little bit and then begin to rotate back up, or have a rest period and rotate back down. The shorter moving averages are moving lower. You can see the series of lower highs and lower lows kind of setting in here. So maybe we pop back up, set another lower high right around this 42.50 level, right? Which is right around the 200-day moving average. The moving averages could converge and cross, causing people that look at stuff like that, the death cross and all that wacko shit. People, and if you're somebody that looks at that, kudos to you, but not me. The move's already happening. But if those cross, it could cause more of a panic in the market to liquidate lower, or they could converge. We get some consolidation. We get some consolidation between the 4,200 to 43 or the 4,400, within a large range on the monthly time frame. I'm just thinking out loud what could possibly happen, right? It's good to have these conversations. It's good to understand what could possibly happen in the future. But we also got to take it one step at a time. And the first step is for the daily to come back into a balance for the buyers, and then do some consolidation, potentially even go one time framing up, put the weekly into a balance at that point. And then you would like to see the monthly come back into a balance at another point, right? So all of that is taken into context. If not, sellers, they want to see continuous one time framing down, and potentially target these other lows. So let's go ahead and look at the 30-minute time frame. Sorry if that was like a little intense there, or all over the place rather. My brain's kind of that way. I'm hyped up off of like 500 milligrams of caffeine right now. So guess what we did today on the 30-minute chart and in our daily? We opened with a gap. We filled that gap. Out of like 200 trading days, we've gapped like 50 times, and none of them have really held. There's only a handful of gaps that have held, and we just looked at those. So we gapped down on the daily only to push back up, try to get into the previous day's range. We failed, we rolled over, began to one time frame down, took out the initial balance low. But guess what? The overnight low was right around that level, which was near our initial balance low. Shorts came in, covered, momentum buyers stepped up. They started pushing this market higher, and then we began to roll back over, creating a wide point of control here. And this is where nuances and knowing profile can be a benefit, okay? What I'm about to point out is something you need to look for on the profile or on your 30-minute time frame when the context of the larger picture, the market's trying to go down, right? So you see, we push up, couldn't find acceptance, could not find acceptance back into the previous day's range. Okay, we gave it a second try in the C period, right? Couldn't get back to that range. We gave it a third try in D period, couldn't even get above C's high, couldn't stay above the open. All right. We rotate back near the low, set a new low on the day, and in doing so, we create a wide point of control right here, right? I'm gonna highlight this area real quick so you guys can see where point of control was developed early on in the day. Point of control was right here at 84.25. All right. Now, when E period opened, right, you got A, B, C, D, E period. When E period opened up, it pushed up and it couldn't get back to that point of control, right? We had 4 time frames push back and forth through the point of control right there at 84.25. E period pushed up, could not get back to 84.25. Guess what? This market rolled over, set a new low on the day, took out the overnight low. So we got both sides of the overnights. We got the overnight high and we got the overnight low. I don't have it showing on this chart at the moment, but just know we got both sides of the overnight. So we got the overnight low. We have initial bounce low. We have value that's lower. There's a lot of things in seller's favor at this moment, right? So seeing that we can't push up here in E period to get 5 wide, nuance, right? That shows you, all right, after all of this BS on chopping back and forth here, the market's trying to go lower. Not only that, we get below June's low, 41.78. Next downside target isn't until 41.37, or excuse me, 41.64.50 was the next downside target, which was another daily low. Below that was 37.50. All right. You just got to have these things in your mind, right? That's why you review the charts. Anyway, so we set a new low on the day, come back in, and then guess what? Point of control gets moved from here down to here, which is 76.25. Why did it get moved down? Well, because we created a wider point of control, a wider area where price moved back and forth through the same price, right? We had 5 time frames now that passed back and forth through 41.76.25. Not only did we do that, once F period opened up, it didn't even push up. It immediately pushed down. You can see where E period closed and F period opened up and then immediately drove down. Once we did that, we started to go trend, creating a large set of single prints, which eventually got filled later in the day, and that's due to the market getting too short. But right here, what I'm highlighting initially is where we had a set of single prints. Now, this is where I got involved. I didn't get involved up here. I didn't get involved here, right? I was waiting for the market to tell me more. I wanted more market generated information for me to, confirm that the sellers were serious and that we could start getting some more downside movement. So once we took out at E's low here at 41.70.50, the volume started to pick up and we started to push down lower. And this is where I started to get involved. I shorted on pushes up, shorted 64, shorted 65. It came in. I started taking, I was taking points as they came in. Ended up roughly, was it 65 points in MES, which is good. It's a good day. Cannot complain. It's not thousands of dollars, but I'm a beginner, right? You got to build confidence. So made some money, made a couple points, was on the right side of the trade. I wasn't trying to buy this on the way down, right? That people were definitely buying the lows here, and that's what caused this liquidation to the downside and then shorts piling on. Now, here's where things got a little bit trickier. We started to push down lower, couldn't get much extension. We attempted to fill single prints once when we pushed up in, what was that, H period. We got to 63.50. Was a great short opportunity. I missed it. I should have taken it, as it was a double reversal bar, because we took out G's low initially, rolled up, took out G's high by a tick, couldn't even get into the single prints, and then we rolled back over, took out G's low again. So double reversal bar in H period, and then we got a reversal bar in I period. Right? We took out H's low, didn't get much more extension, was getting to that area that I was talking about on the daily chart, and then we got a reversal bar, and then this market squeezed up. You had momentum buyers, right? The market got too short. Momentum buying came in. Shorts started to cover. We started to rally up higher. Guess what? Market got too long, and we rolled all the way back over to do and try to resume what we were doing earlier in the day, and we closed right around the lows of the day. So that is today's price action in a nutshell. If you followed along, you're a freaking trooper. We go out today with today's high, today's low, and that is it. No afternoon rally high, no wide point of control. That's all we go out with today, is today's high and today's low. The other destinations on the downside were those that I just discussed. 37.50 is the next downside destination. for the daily, and then 41.14. So keep those in mind, write those down. I'm going to do my best to remember those destinations going forward. And then upside destinations are today's high, 42.05. Afternoon rally high at 42.31. 75 above that is a vacuum to the upside, and I'll give you that destination here in just a second. Let me mark this. Above that, 31.75 would be 42.53.50. Above that would be 42.83.50. So remember earlier this week how I was talking about I would not want to be a buyer above 42.80? Basically 42.75 to 42.80, didn't want to be a buyer. I was looking to sell. Look at that. If you would have sold up here, I mean, from 42.80 down to 41.80, I mean, you made 100 points. I can read a market, man. I can't trade it sometimes, but I can read a market. Did well today, though. All right, and we're going to mark today's low of day, 46.25. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is going to conclude today's video. If you enjoyed the commentary, if you enjoyed the analysis, please leave a like down below. If not, then that's okay. If you didn't even make it to the end, then that's okay. This is mostly for me, my review, and hopefully, it helps not only myself, but it helps you guys, either A, learn how to break down your chart a little bit better, or understand some nuances. And even for myself, helps me reiterate some nuances and some destinations on the downside and the upside to be prepared for the next day of trading. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.